Welcome back, friends. Today my video is about Beltane, which is just a few days away. And I really wanted to create a celebratory altar to Beltane. I'm a solitary practitioner. I know there's many of you out there as well. And I thought that it would be fun to just bring the elements into the home that really represent spring, fruition, fertility, all of the wonderful aspects of this time of year. And so I have gathered some things. Some things I have purchased. As you can see before you is a few fake flowers. And I will be bringing in some real plant material, real fresh flowers from the garden. But I'm creating an interesting little piece to go on the altar, and that is a maypole. And so I need actually fake flowers so that it can last from year to year and I can reuse it. So I purchased a couple of things. These were very nominally priced, a couple of bucks. Same thing with the wooden doweling. I got some craft rounds to make the pole. I have all different kinds of colored ribbon to represent spring, some candles. I got these. These are actually incense burners for like charcoal discs, and they're a couple of bucks each, literally. I've got a flower or rose incense holder. I've got some colored candles. I've got a couple of colors upstairs I'm going to add to this. Some incense, a couple of fire starters for actual Beltane night. And over here, I have a big jumble of things that I already had. And I found this on a shelf. It's a silver plate. I just need to clean it. I've got a wonderful chalice here that I found sitting on a shelf. I have my athame, so that'll represent the female and the male deities. I've got my trusty glue gun with lots of glue sticks. I've got some Spanish moss. I've got some tea light holders. I've got some chime candles. Not sure if we're going to use those yet. I have a wonderful little bell with a bird on it that I think is perfect for Beltane. And I've got some paints and some paint brushes. I think we're looking good. So I'm looking forward to getting this started, everybody. And let's have some fun. Let's celebrate Beltane. Okay, so I've got my supplies out here, and I've been thinking about how I want to do this maypole. And I did mention that I'm making this so that I can save it from year to year and reuse it. So I got these craft rounds, and there's 6 of them. I'm going to use 4. I initially wasn't going to do this, but I thought, if I do a double base, it'll be a little sturdier. And I went through the bag of doweling that I purchased, and this is one of the straighter ones, so we're going to use that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue these 2 together to form a base. This is going to go in the center, and then these guys will go on top. And on top, as you can see here, if I can get my hand out of the way, we're going to do it like that, kind of. And what I'm going to do is I want to do the flowers on top here, and then that will cover up the ribbons that we're going to attach that hang down. And I thought, my thought process here would be, and I'm going to paint, I'm going to combine these 2 to make a base color for all of the wood pieces. And then I thought I would take the white and do like a barber pole spiral up the top to contrast, and then attach all of the different colored ribbons to represent spring and fertility and all of that. So I think I'm going to get started here. I'll start by gluing everything together. So I have to start with the bases first. I matched these up to be sure that they were reasonably even, and they are. So I think my glue gun is nice and warm here. So I'm going to do little dots. We're going to try to do little dots anyway. If you hear chimes in the background, because it's springtime, we have our ice cream truck driver. We live out in the country, and we do have an ice cream truck. Okay, that looks really good. I'm digging it. What do you think? And it makes a nice little base. So I'm going to do this guy now. Yeah, we actually live in a lovely little neighborhood that it's very much country, but it's a beautiful neighborhood. And it's like taking a step back in time where I live. Children actually play outside. They play games, they play tag, they ride their bikes. We have ice cream trucks. It really is very, very much like Norman Rockwell. It's a very beautiful neighborhood, and kids play like kids are supposed to. It really is fun. It's fun living here. Okay. So I'll have to take a little emery board and just kind of shave that off. This is just balsa wood. Now the doweling is bamboo, but this is balsa wood, so it's good and lightweight. It'll be easy to store throughout the year. So now I need to visualize my center point. I could measure this, but I really don't think I need to. Let me just grab a pencil really quick and I'll be right back. Now the easiest way for me to find center is to just lean over the piece. And that way I can look straight down and get a good visual bead. I'm going to say that's just a little bit off. I'm going to flip it over. There's a, I don't know if you probably can't see this on camera, but well, maybe you can't. There's a natural mark in the wood and it's throwing me off visually. So I'm going to flip it over where it's it's more uniform. Okay, and I'm just going to go boop. Okay, that's a little bit off. That, I'd say, is center right there. So if you have a good keen eye for symmetry, you can do this without any measurements. If you're not sure and you're not comfortable, just grab a tape measure. All right, there's my center. So, having found center, and do I want to do the other one too? Maybe not a bad idea, huh? Okay, again on this one it had a little line right through it, so I'm just going to flip it over and find its center too. Let's see. Okay. That's center. Okay. So now I've got both top and bottom. So what I'm going to do is put a little boop of glue. Okay. And both my ends are level. Now the lovely thing about hot glue is that if it's on a hard surface like this wood, you can kind of, if you make a mistake, you can pop it loose. It might leave a little bit of a mark, but I mean, honestly, I'm going to be painting this. So now while it's still setting up, I'm going to be spinning it so that I can make sure that it's level. And it is. Okay. Now, I'm going to let that sit and be alone by itself for just a second and let the hot glue set up. And then once it's set up, I'm going to, actually, you know what I might do? Just to say that I did. Just kind of press it in a little bit. I'm painting all of this so any pencil marks are not a big deal. I'm just kind of pressing it. That way I don't have to put a bunch of extra glue on the base. There's really no need to do that. The doweling is set nicely and it's good and centered. So there we go. Now, I could do the inverse and flip it. There's a couple ways I can do this. Just choose what you want to do. But for me, I'm thinking, yeah, it's going to be easier if I do it this way. I think I can do it. We'll find out here in a minute. Like I said, if you make a mistake, redo it. Okay, so let's just flip it over. Move it in. Drop it down. I'm going to hold it for just a couple seconds while it's still No, wasn't quite set. Okay. I may need to put a little bit more glue on this, but this is going to actually be, I can flip it to wherever it looks the best. Let me see. Okay. Get a little bit level. Now there's a touch more weight on it now because we've got our top disc up here. Okay, it's set up pretty good, and I would say we're pretty straight. Now, since I'm going to flip this, I love the little spider webbing glue strings that you get. I think I got a couple of options here, because it doesn't matter which end I want the maypole to stand. I think I'm going to do extra glue. Because it will puddle down and it will help reinforce that. And for the record, I will probably burn myself with a glue gun 8 or 12 times before this is over with. So yeah, I'll let this set. I'm going to flip it over. I'm probably... Yep. Guess I should have hung on to it while it's set up. The one thing about hot glue is that it will not set up completely if you add more hot glue back onto it. Just a little. Just a little tip. I don't know why I didn't think to hang on to it. That's kind of funny. Just checking it gently as I turn it. Okay, so I guess I will hang on to this here. Preferably in a straight line here. Okay. Alrighty, we've got it painted. It's a nice brown color. The little bit of gold added to it is bringing out the brown a little bit better. And once this dries, then we're going to start assembling. So I'm pretty excited about this. Okay, we are back. I did let the paint dry, and then I actually did a couple of quick coats of a satin finish varnish, because I did want to seal that balsa wood, because the paint I'm using is just a straightforward acrylic, and so it's water-based. So anytime you would touch this, if your hands were damp, that kind of thing, that paint would just come right off. So I just sealed it, and it looks pretty good. I did not do the bottom. I'm not worried about that part, but I did the top and, of course, underneath. And I think at this point here, what I'm going to try and do, because I kind of wanted to do this kind of a barber pole thing, that spiral wrap. I thought that would look kind of good. And I don't need to worry about a lot of this wood showing, because it's going to be covered with some moss and some other neat things. So I'm going to start, I think I kind of need, I pulled off a bunch of the ribbon ahead of time so that I would have a little bit to work with. I'm trying to not make a cut, but I think my angle should be something like that. Let's see if we can maybe make a little dollop there. And just kind of poking on there. And of course I kind of already messed that up just a hair. I need to put this ribbon at kind of an angle so that I can wrap it that way. I think I got it fixed. Okay, so now that we kind of have that tacked down, let's see what we can do. I don't want to cut my ribbon if I can help it. Not yet, because I'm trying to save. Trying to save all the ribbon I can. I got these spools of ribbon and there's not a whole lot on them. There is, it's the Osprey brand and there is only, oh, there's 10 yards. Are you kidding me? So most of these are 10 yards, I guess. And so there is plenty of ribbon, I suppose. I'm surprised actually because I only paid 49 cents a spool for them. So I'm pretty stoked about that. I'm just kind of guiding the ribbon with my fingers to keep it even, and so far it seems to be going okay. I'm just going to go all the way to the top till I can't really continue on. I'm going to grab my very tried and true craft scissors here, and let's see, kind of need to put that bead of glue at the very top here. We can do this. I need to, whoop, yeah, we got it. I'm trying it. What did I tell you about burning myself? I'm trying very hard not to have that happen. We're about to find out. Okay. Oh, this is, yeah, I had this undeniable urge to just poke my finger in there to hold this down. And it's like, girl, you're going to burn yourself. Okay, alrighty. So, I believe I got it. That looks kind of cool. I'm digging it. Okay, so let's take our ribbons and look at this. Now what I'm kind of thinking is for our maypole here, I'm going to attach the ribbons up top here first. And then they're going to come down over the side. And then I can cover where they're attached up here with little bits of flowers and moss and that kind of thing. So let me set that down and let that glue finish setting up, and we will move on with some fun. Okay, now this is where I'm kind of up in the air because braiding is very ancient, and braiding is of course tied to, no pun intended, to Beltane, because as you weave you're creating power, you're creating the strength of your spell. So making knots and braiding is a very common thing to do during a working. So I've kind of been looking at this project and going, okay, a lot of maypoles, they're just, you know, the straight ribbon hanging down and, you know, they go around the maypole. But I was kind of toying with the idea of, do I want to braid, or will that make it like kind of stiff? I don't know. Because I thought, okay, if I braid them, yes, it will make them thicker, but like at the end or throughout, I can also put little pieces of foliage, you know, into the braids. I don't know. I'll tell you what, I'm going to try a couple of different versions and I will show you with what I came up with shortly. Okay, I did the braiding technique, not a fan. It looks messy. So I am going to undo this. Probably take me as long to undo it as it did to do it. And I think Yeah, they need to be loose. I think that will be just fine. We will undo these, and then I think maybe, I don't know, should we try to attach anything to the ribbons or just let the ribbons be? I don't know. I think maybe let the ribbons be. I'm doing 3 ribbons per color. I tend to work in 3s, as I've mentioned before. So I want to do 3 ribbons per color. And I have 5 colors. And I think, yeah, I think I'll space them out a little bit. Or will I stagger the colors? All right, we have some, I got to work out some stuff here. I'll be right back. I've already started gluing on the ribbons, and I'm going opposite to opposite. It kind of helps line things up so I know, how to evenly, put them on. I don't want to be super exact. That's not the issue. And can I just take a moment and say that my dining room table looks like a Michael's exploded in here. It's pretty amazing. Now all I'm doing is putting just a little dollop, or trying to put a little dollop of very hot glue. Good Lord, I just saw the steam. Ugh. Okay. And just trying to line it up best I can and tacking it down with a tippy tap and trying to not, again, burn myself. Because we all know that's coming. Okay, so we got, see, I just stuck my finger, but thankfully that didn't hurt. Let's see, what color do we want now? How about green? Let's do some green. There we go. Okay, I'm just going to keep going with these colors and moving forward. Okay, now I've got all of the ribbons attached. I think I have one extra blue over here, but that's fine. And what I'm going to do, I think, is, now the debate is on, do I want to attach anything to the ribbons? I kind of don't. So I think what I'm going to do, I had toyed with the idea of maybe attaching things down the lengths of the ribbon, but I think there's going to be enough going on here. So I think I'm just going to go around and I'm going to snip these about at the base of the actual pole. And I'm going to do, actually just a little bit above the base, and I'm going to snip at an angle. Yeah, that looks good. Don't knock it over. So it's going to look like it's got kind of a funky haircut, but... And I'm not going to make them all uniform, so some might be a touch longer. Some might be a little bit shorter. Let's see here. Trying to figure out what I got going on here. So I'm just going to keep snipping as I go here. I'm actually not far off to being done here. Okay. Okay, so now we have a nice finished pole with our ribbons attached. Nothing is too precise. I wanted to keep it that way because it keeps it more fluid and organic looking and natural. So now that that's done, now we just move on to the simple part, which is decorating with the flowers and the moss and all the other little accoutrements that we've gathered. And keep in mind, this is going to be a year-to-year decoration for Beltane, and so I am using fake flowers. But when we actually get to creating our Beltane altar, we will be using real lovely flowers. I'll see you shortly. Okay, as you can see, we have a nice little Dr. Seuss hairdo with all of our ribbons, and I have pulled out some sheet moss. I thought, I've got two kinds. I've got regular Spanish moss and then the sheet moss, and I just thought this would be a little bit easier to work with. And I did go ahead and go through my pick bouquet stuff that I had, and I tried to trim off or cut off the smaller things. I really wanted to use some more vibrant colors, but they're pretty big. And I don't know, I might be able to sneak it in. I'm gonna see how this goes. But for the time being, we're gonna work on gluing in some moss. We want it to be kind of natural looking. Okay, so we're just gonna do that. Let's see. Let's see. It's kind of a good piece. I love this part because you can hide everything with the glue, and you can kind of be messier, which I tend to be when I craft. A great deal messier. So, kind of looking here. It can trail off by quite a bit if I want. It's not, this is anything but precise because we want it to replicate what nature would look like. It looks like I got a little bead of glue on my table. Lovely. Okay, so put that guy down. Need another little piece. Maybe, I don't know, want to go big? Ooh, I like that. Let's do that. Let's go big. Made it this whole way and I didn't make a mess till just now. It's really kind of sad. Okay, so we have our moss on. Now what I'm going to do from here, our moss is on. Let's look at some of our flowers and how we can maybe kind of incorporate some of these in. And I'm going to try and make it so that it doesn't matter which way you turn it. You know, it looks good. Let's see here. I want to put maybe a little bit more moss. Yeah, I need a little extra. Let's see. That looks good, just right there. Poke him down there. I like that. Pretty decent, not bad. Well, except for that guy that's attached. Okay. Now, obviously, this isn't, you know, it's not done for scale. Like if you were doing miniatures or something. I do a lot of play scale size miniatures, i.e. fashion dolls. But I don't do like dollhouse miniatures or anything. But I mean, this is strictly for your altar, for decoration. It does not need to be exact. It needs to be Beltane. Beltane-ish. We need to poke something right in the center there. Hey, I wonder if we could do maybe something like that. Maybe some flowers. That's not bad. It's a little big, but I'm digging it, and it's stuck, so I guess it stays. Let's put a dollop of glue there. And If I could just stop sticking my fingers in it, it would be awesome. I'm just going to kind of hold this for a second. I really like that. Even though that one flower is a little big, I think it looks really, really pretty. Okay. Let's see here. And because these are plastic, you can kind of shape them a little bit to kind of, because once you get your glue down, it's kind of all good. That's what I think that's why hot glue is so popular in crafting, because it's pretty much, you're done instantly. Okay, so I'm just going to keep working my way around, and then I'm going to move to the top. I'll see you shortly. Real quick, I just wanted to show you the base. I think it turned out pretty gosh darn good. So, and you can rotate it any direction you like. So now I'm going to move on to the top. Okay, so we've finished our bottom, and now we're going to knock out this top part really quick. I noticed that I was really concerned about using the larger flowers, but honestly it looks really, really nice there. So I'm going to continue that theme along the top. Excuse my doggy in the background. She's suffering from allergies pretty badly right now. I'm going to, I think, I kind of spread this one out a little bit. And yeah, I think we're going to do that. Okay. So we're just going to put a nice piece of that on there. And drape that down a little bit. I think I'm going to stand up a little bit here to see if I can get a better angle. Let's see. It's not bad. Let me pull out. Oh, I'm going to be having this stuff all over the house. The sheet moss is flying everywhere. I kind of like that. Okay. Let's do that. There we go. Oh, burned myself. Hey, I'm actually ahead of the curve. I've only really burned myself one time. Okay, now who goes on next? Ooh, I like that piece. Yay. Okay. Just kind of fill it in. It's almost like a puzzle piece. You just pull off pieces and see where they fit. So I'm really liking that. Let me sit down and take a look. Oh yeah, that looks good. Okay, so I'm happy with the moss. Let's just toss that over there. Now, I found this here, and I really like that. And I'm kind of thinking maybe give the top a little bit more height, but I'm going to, let's see, is that, okay, so let's trim off these guys on the bottom, if I can get to them, just so it'll lay a little bit flatter. That's better. There we go. I like that. So, just gonna do that. Kind of thinking maybe tuck you in like that. pretty simple and straightforward. Basically decorate it how you like. It is, after all, your Beltane. That's cute. I like that piece. So let's... Okay. There we go. Let's get some of those pretty yellow ones that we had. I wonder if I can kind of curl that up a little bit. It's not bad. Let me kind of turn a little bit here. Well, I think, oh, I just burned myself again. It's 2 for 2. Okay, so now we have just a nice little overreaching arch, and I kind of want to keep building on that so that, again, no matter which way you turn it, you've got something beautiful to look at. So this one's kind of up in the air. So all I'm going to do is just kind of press it a little bit, and let's see here. Let's see, because we are going, whoop, I'm dropping it. Take advantage of that glue that's still hot. And got those. These are kind of bold. Let me see here. I could do something like that, which is not bad. I'm liking it. Hang on. Hold that thought. Okay. And now I need something for this corner. Do I want to maybe poke that little daisy in there? It's kind of cute. Oh, wow. I love that. Okay. I got little glue strings everywhere. What do you think? Let's see, let's turn it. We've got something to look at, I think, in every direction. I think right back here is maybe the most uncovered. Now remember, this is the crown of our maypole, so we want it to have a little extra. I wonder, hang on. If I can tuck this maybe in somewhere. I don't think I really care for that. It doesn't look like anything. Okay, maybe. Well, it's kind of big. Okay, we have a choice of this or another one of these, and they would go right here. So let's try it out here. That, or another one of those, or if I did that though, is that going to kind of take over? Well, let's actually, no, that crazily enough works beautifully. Okay, hang on. Got it. We did it. Look at that. Look at that. Now that's a Beltane maypole if ever I saw one. That's beautiful. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. we have our first altar piece for Beltane. How about that? That's awesome. Well, we're one step closer to having a finished altar for Beltane, everyone. Now, this is the first part of this Beltane video grouping. It's not a series, we'll call it a grouping. But this is our Maypole. And now the next video, we will start designing our altar for Beltane. So I will see you tomorrow. Thank you for joining me, my friends. I love you all. Take care. And I will see you tomorrow.